Okay guys, good morning. Today I'd like to share some experience with my C7 2017 Grand Sport. And really I want to share two things. The first thing is the tires, and the second thing is the ram, the wheels of the tires. Okay, so let me warn by saying that I'm not a mechanic. I'm just purely a Corvette C7 owner and a Corvette enthusiast. So these are just based on my experience, okay, on the tires and on the ram. With that said, I believe both of these things are related to safety issue, and I want to make sure that I share this experience with all you Corvette owners out there and to-be Corvette owners, just to be mindful and be aware of your Corvette. I know many of you are already aware of this, but I think a video goes a long way. So now, from the manufacturers, the alignment on the Corvette C7, I don't have a Stingray. I have a Grand Sport, so I can only speak on the Grand Sport model. But the alignments, it's where the contact on the tires will be on the inside, most of it, okay? So with that said, you're going to have more wear on the inside of the tires and less on the outside of the tires, okay? Again, these tires, this Michelin Pilot Super Sport tires, okay? And these are what I got when I purchased the car. So if you are a very safe driver, just cruising, weekend cruisings and stuff like that, you can probably get around 18 to 20,000 miles per set. Okay. Now, if you like to drive aggressively and tracks and stuff like that, these may not be for it, but you will get a lot less mileage out of a set. Okay, I read online, I see people getting like 8 to 10,000 miles per set only. So I actually, this is the set that I got with the car, and I actually got around 18 or 19,000 miles on this set. Okay, again, the wear, it's on the inside, and the outside, it's less of a wear on it. So I want you, or if you're thinking about purchasing a C7 and you're debating whether you want a Stingray or Grand Sports or Z06, just want you to be well informed before you decide. Of course, the Grand Sports and the Z06, the wider body, in my opinion, it looks a lot nicer, but with that said, there's a lot of other pros and cons that comes with that too, and one of them is the tires and the rims. The tires may be applicable to all the models. As far as the alignment goes, where it wears on the inside, you can definitely have have the tires realigned where it contact the surface evenly. You can do that. This is the rear tires, and as you can see, this is the inside. Okay. And this is the outside. Okay, so the outside looks a lot better, and the inside looks a lot more wear out. Okay, so again, if you own one of these Grand Sport or Z06, you do want to check your tires once in a while, especially after a trip or something like that. Just lift up your cars, or even just go underneath it and take a look at the tires. You don't want to have the inside wear out, where it could be a safety issue for you. Okay, so I know I have friends that their inside wear actually shows the middle. So again, from a safety perspective, it's dangerous to be make sure you check your inside wear to be sure that your tires are good. All right. second thing I want to share my experience regarding the C7 Grand Sport here is that the rear rams cracks. Okay, so both of my rear rams right now crack, and this one has 2 cracks. That one has 1 crack, and I've been doing a lot of online readings and stuff like that, and it's very common for C7 Grand Sports and Z06 Rams to crack. You know, with that said, based on what I saw, there's 2 lawsuits going on. One is in California, and that one the judge actually sided with GM. So, you know, too bad, right? And then there's a second one that it's going on right now in Michigan, class action lawsuits, and that one is still pending. So we don't know what the end result is yet with that one. But either way, both of my Rams here, this is the 2017, and I bought it back in May 2017. So it's been over 3 years. The last time I took it to the dealer, they told me that my warranty already expired. So besides that, the warranty doesn't cover the Rams anyway. So tough luck, right? And you know, these are pretty expensive. These Rams could range from, you know, 4,000 or 5,000 to 10,000, depending on what you want. If you want the exact OEM replacement, you know, it might be an option, but I decided I don't want the exact OEM RAM replacement anymore, because eventually it's going to crack again, right? So what I just decided to do is I ordered a set of aftermarket Cray spiders, and of course it's in back order. So they told me that I might not get it like a month from now. So let's hopefully I'll get that a month from now. And my experience on the new Cray spider Rams, I could share that another time. But again, the issue with the Grand Sport and Z06 C7 Corvette, it's that because your tire is a lot wider and your Ram's a lot wider, you know, the rear tend to bend or cracks. And in this case, my rear here on this side, on the passenger's rear here, there's 2 cracks, and on the driver's side rear here, there's 1 crack. You know, knowing that there's a potential to cracks on your Z06 or your Grand Sport C7 models, and you might want to think twice about that, right? A lot of people might wonder, well, if you can afford a Corvette, you sure, you know exactly what you're getting into, and you should not have any concerns on any, you know, repair or parts. But that might be true for some owners, but not all owners. A lot of owners are just enthusiasts, you know. They love the Corvette brand and Corvette cars, and that's why they got it, you know. So to replace these Rams and tires, especially the Rams here, it's going to cost you some money, from 4 or 5 grand to even 10 grand for aftermarket, if you decide to go with aftermarket. If you want OEM, definitely it's going to crack. So you know, you got to make sure your monies are well spent. And so again, I'm not happy. I'm not happy that GM, you know, that these Rams cracked, and I think a lot of Corvette owners out there, especially the Grand Sport and the Z06 C7 owners out there, are not happy with GM, or are not happy with GMs either, because of the crack and bent rear or even front Rams. Again, based on my experience here, I only have the rear cracks, and so I call a couple wheel shops in my area here, and they say that they can replace it. Basically, they weld it back together for $150 per wheel. But you know, even that, I think it's going to crack again. Not just that, but from a safety perspective, I think it's critical that your wheels are intact, you know, while you're driving. you don't want a wheel that's going to crack and go ballistic on you while you're driving 70, 80 miles per hour on the freeway. So I think it's a safety issue. I think GM should address it, but they're not. So you as an owner, I'm as an owner, we are to basically find a solution, a replacement for it. And in my case here, I did not know that I have a crack, my rim crack, until suddenly one day I woke up and my rear right tires here, the air was low. Okay, so I took it to my local tire store here, and they checked and they realized that there were 2 cracks on the rim. Okay, so that's how I knew. All right. Right now, if I put air in it, it still holds, but I'm not afraid. I'm very afraid driving it around now. Okay. Now on the other one, I took it to Chevrolet for an oil change, and I specifically asked them to check that one because I knew that this one cracked already, right? So I asked them to check that one, and the mechanics found that that one also cracked. So both rears cracked. Okay. And again, to me, it's a safety issue, safety concerns. GM needs to address it, but in the meantime, if they don't, we as owners, we gotta find a way to fix it. And a couple options. You can take it to your local tire and wheel stores and have them weld it back together. That could be one option. The other option is you can order the same OEM replacement, and your third option is to go with the third-party wheel as a replacement. And for me, I decided that I will go with the third-party wheel replacement. I'm ordering the Craig Spider rams for as a replacement. So hopefully I'll get more out of that ram than this one. I'm afraid of ordering the same OEM rams because, again, it's been known to crack, so it's going to crack again. So with that said, again, you want to check your rams. Most of us doesn't have a lift, right? So you only know when you take it to the shop, all right? But you can check your rams at home, even if you don't have a lift. If you have a jack, you could just jack it up and look at it. Even if not, you could just go underneath here and take a look at it. It might be a little tight here, but what I'm going to show you guys is I'm going to try to jack that up so that I could show you guys where the cracks are at. Okay, so let's do that. To jack up the tires, I'll use this. Okay, this is a putt that you could use to jack it up, which is a standard jack. Okay, and it's about right here. If you just look down,
it's basically right here where my fingers are at. Okay, just turn it a little bit so that it's in position. Okay, alright, so we're gonna put the jack right underneath it. With the tires jack that up a little bit here. I don't want to jack it too high. I just want to jack it enough where I can go underneath it and take a look at the cracks. I only jacked it up about maybe an inch off the ground, and it's easily visible when you go inside and take a look at the inspect the rear rams. Okay, so you don't have to have a lift or anything like that. You could definitely inspect it yourself. Okay, so that's critical. It's very important that you do inspect your rams once in a while. If you do own a Grand Sport and a Z06 C7. So there you go. Here's the cracks right here. Okay. That's the first crack of the passenger rear rams. Alright, and the second one, see if I can find it. There you go. So that's the second crack. Okay, right there. There. That one's much bigger. Okay, so you do want to check your rims once in a while, just to be sure that you don't have any cracks, you know, because if you do, it's not safe. Let's go look at the driver's side rear. You know, this is the crack right here. Okay. There you go. So this is the driver rear rams that cracks. Okay. And as far as I know, there's only one crack on this side. Alright.
I would say that those of us that own the C7 Grand Sport and Z06, I would say we are pretty pissed off, you know, as far as the RAM goes. Again, they're prone to cracks and bent, and you know that just means more money out of your pocket to fix those. So as far as the car, we love it, you know, but the Rams, GM got to do a better job on that. That's a safety issue. That's a big concern. So I hope you're fully aware and informed if you're thinking about purchasing a C7 Grand Sport or Z06 because of the tires and the rims that I just shared with you guys. You know, if you're fully aware and informed of it, and you still like to go ahead and purchase your Grand Sport or Z06, C7, go for it. It's a beautiful car. It's just that there are things that comes with it too. With that said, again, the purpose of this is just to make sure that if you're already an owner, make sure you're aware and informed on the tires and the Rams. Again, there's a couple lawsuits going on the Rams, but based on the information and based on the discussion right now, it's you're on your own. You know, GM's not recalling or repairing any of those for you. So good luck on that.